Everybody, what's up? It is Monday, August 6th, and because it's Monday, it's your boy Chuck Pineau. What is going on? How are those weekends? You're not going to respond. I'm by myself. But that will not stop us from having a great show, because it turns out I love nothing more than talking to myself. And not that I fear no one will watch this, because I believe they will. But watching it later does not mean that you are having a dialogue with me. So, we're back at it. Indie advocates, kicking ass, taking names, and showing off great freaking comics. So, let's go straight into this. We'll start with Metal Shark Bro. A lot of this stuff you and I have talked about over and over and over again. And I don't know, sometimes it's hard to make it interesting, to go, hey, but I think the important part is that we need to keep showing you this stuff. You need to keep seeing this stuff so that you're made aware of it if you haven't been. Because a lot of stuff with all the crap on the internet and all over the place, it's going to slip by. So, first off, let's talk about Metal Shark. I want to go into this one a little bit because everyone's very excited about this. It does look good. I am a metal guy myself. But this one, it's actually in a state of, I don't know, its future is not ordained. They're asking for a big number. I'm sure there's a good reason for that. But let's go into this one a little bit heavier. I was smart today. I started early, so we got lots of time. So let's do this. Let's play this video and check out and learn more about Metal Shark.
We're entering the final few days of the Metal Shark Bro Kickstarter. This is your last chance for you to get involved with all the demon slaying, all the goat wizard slaughtering, all the heavy metal madness that is Metal Shark Bro. Your last chance to get the book, the Creature Box exclusive Kickstarter print, enamel pens, and so much more. The fun ends August 8th at midnight. Get involved before it's...
Wow, nice, simple, to the point. Yeah, they have, that's the 8th, it means they have about 3 days left, which is not simple. Let's go, let's see if, do they have the Kickstarter? Okay, so open link in new tab, and let's see what they're at right now. So they're at $19,506 out of almost a $25,000, and look, they just got another backer while we're watching. That's so cool. So, yeah, let's definitely keep our eyes out for this. Jump on this, and try to make this a thing. I mean, obviously, it has 482 backers. Like, it is something that's important to people that people really would like to see. So, how can 482 people be wrong? I mean, really. So, check it out. Take a look. See what you can do. You might notice... Oh, no. You might not notice anything. But, they're, they look like they're doing some really good stuff. So, again, check them out. They're 5K away, which might sound a lot, but the big, there's always that big surge at the end. And we felt it. We had about 10% for Welcome to the Void. We had about 10% jump, so which is really nice. And that's actually a lower one. Usually, I've heard a lot of people say that they can get up to like a 30% jump in their final days. So yeah, man. Let's hope 30% of 20,000. Yeah, that should do it. But that means that you might want to be a part of that if you haven't done it already. So, jump on Metal Shark Bro. Let's go back. Great. Jax the Anderson, What Makes a Superhero? Fantastic book. I have read this book. I have read this book an awful lot. My favorite thing to do with this book is because, I edited it. It was actually I think my second book I'd ever worked on. And I was given a bunch of copies as payment. It's a regular thing. If if you're not a comic creator so much, you might find out that in the indie world, a lot of times people will pay you through extra books that you can sell and whatnot. And I sold some books, but I also had a great time giving it to kids. I gave one to oh my gosh, who was it? Well, my granddaughter, my granddaughter and grandson, and they love this book. There's another woman that I worked with at the bar I work at, and her son's name is Jackson, and they call him Jax, and he loves this book. So it's a great book for comics, or sorry, for kids, and I know that there's other things coming out of it. I know we've got a coloring book that we're talking about, and I know also that two heroes that come out of this that are in Jax's imagination in this book are Cat Dad and Supermom, I believe, and Rob and Raheel Mohsen, I believe, have created a book on that. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming from it. So jump into the previews, check this out, and just have a great time in that world, man. It's a lot of fun. Public Domain, the graphic novel, The Heroes of Yesteryear. Were they real or just serial actors? Public Domain unravels the mystery. Go to Indiegogo to become this new domain of possibility. Kickstarter talk number 32. Metal Shark Bro, Rumble Kings, Dynamos, and more. You know what, actually, guys? Let's do something. I'm gonna do something fucking crazy. All right, I really am. I'm gonna do something that probably I don't think, for some stupid reason, I don't think that this is on Indie Advocates, and I'll take that one for myself. My computer's a piece of shit. You know, I get bogged down, and it's easy just to forget and not do things. So here, we're getting nothing but dead air right now, but let's try to see if we can find something. All right, cool. There we go. I'm gonna try to find my little link here, and then I would like to try to show you a special project that's near and dear to my heart that I haven't been able to show off yet. Dismiss. Dang it. Alright, I'm going to try this one more time, guys. If it does not work, there's really not much we can do about it. Alright, so we had a bit of an... This is probably the first time you guys have ever seen me on the live feed before. But here we go. That's on my computer. Here we are. Let's go back to this and make it happen. I don't know what the hell happened. But let's jump back into this. Okay, I don't know when it died. We're going to keep going, though. Thank you, Scott, for sending a photo. Nothing new is coming. All right, screw Kickstarter. Cool. August 15th, Sane 6 Catalyst number 1. This is done through Evolution Publishing, and I believe this is actually written and drawn by Robert Cannon, who was the artist on Galaxial, which was a massive success on Kickstarter, and it's supposed to be a really great post-apocalyptic book. So this is one that we're going to be talking about in the future and showing off and whatnot. We got some fan art with Darth Talon, and that's Yancey Vogues, or Vogus, who created that. We have Brian K. Morris's Never Mind the Furthermore. That's his little show that he does, I believe, every morning, or I think it's like every other morning or something like that. And I've checked it out a couple times. He's talking about what he's doing and all that. So very good stuff there. Congrats to the team behind Champion Comics Presents American Revere #1 for the blast off of Kickstarter. Woo! I told you this is my favorite thing, guys, the blasting off of Kickstarter. And this July being a part of that kind of July crew, I think most of us, if not all of us, got to make it off of Kickstarter. And it was Revere, and there's more to come. Monsters was another one. I don't know, some silly book about voids and some lightning wielding chick. There was a bunch. Hopefully we get to see those though, and if they haven't, I'll do my own personal blast off for you guys. There's the Throwback Thursday, New York City Comic Con, displaying some cosplay magic. Yeah, that's Pickle Rick. That's pretty awesome. Actually, that looks like an awful lot of fun. Article on expansion of the Yavits Center, the home of New York City Comic Con. Well worth the read, an exciting future. Oh, excuse me, guys, for New York City Comic Con. So you should check that out. Here's a Throwback Thursday. The 7 deadly questions have their hands all over your tits. I feel a little violated. I don't know about you guys. Tits is trans interdimensional taxi service, I believe, and very fun little acronym they've got going on there. You want to hear a little about Ogre before you run out to pre-order? So cool, this is great. Let's look a little bit into this one. This is Bob Sally. I've heard some great things about Ogre. I like to keep up with Bob. I like what he's doing. I like a lot of his work, and I'm interested to know more. So let's check a little bit out of this and see what we can see. Or no, is that even? No, that's not even a. Let's try this. He's showing it off. Is he gonna speak or is he just gonna show it? Oh, I see.
I know it's a week away. Tomorrow, it'll be a week away tomorrow. New comic book day. I'll take this time to show you Ogre. This is my next title that's coming out, and we're not doing. Hey, J-Bo, thanks for joining. We're not doing Kickstarter tickets. It's my first time. Kai, how you doing? Thanks for joining. Hey, Bush. So yeah, a little nervous. You know, I got this coming out in Previews World, and I'm really excited. So I know that there's a lot of Kickstarters going on. I know that everybody is hungover from San Diego Comic-Con. Jay Taylor, thanks for joining. But I wanted to just touch base with everybody out there and remind them that next week, Ogre is coming out from Source Point Press by yours truly and Sean Daly. You can see the artwork in here. Sean Daly is a genius. He's amazing. Watercolors. We got ogres, we got trolls, we got fairies, we got pixies.
All right, so I think, that touched on the importance of it some. I think something that's important though is that this actually brings up two things. First off, we're always talking about Kickstarters and all that kind of stuff, but we also have to remember to support on this level as well. He's in Bob Sally has his book in previews right now, so that you can go out and you can pick it up at your local comic shop, which means that you're not only supporting Bob and his work, and you're not only supporting Source Point Press and their work, you're supporting your local comic shop too. Like, you're literally helping 3 different sources at once. And that's not saying like, oh, this is better than Kickstarter or whatever, but he has an opportunity to get straight into the comic shops. And that's what a lot of us really, really would like and love to do, is to be able to just get straight into the comics, or just straight into the shops and the stores and stuff. And so that's a big deal, a really big deal. And I think we need to remember that, and we need to go with that. So check out Ogre. I know I'm going to be talking to my comic shop to get that in there too. So if you guys want to do that, go to your LCS. Check this out. Oh, excuse me. Apparently I didn't get enough sleep, but I feel like I did. I just need to catch up, I think. Yeah, go into your local comic book store. Check that out. Make that happen. But not only for you, they'll buy extra copies, so that means that you'll also be showing his workout off to anyone else who decides to pick it up from your shop. So that's a really cool thing that you're doing there. So way to go, man. You're so supportive. We appreciate you. Now in the Indie Comic Previews, Seed Seekers number 2. Yeah. Welcome to Creators Alley, and a video to explain why it's important. Why don't we actually jump on and check this one out real quick and try to make that happen. let's see. My boy Rob will have a video. No, might be a little long. He's not known for 3 minutes. Cool, we can do
They're also online. That's exactly what indieadvocates.com is, an online digital Comic-Con. What Comic-Con would be complete without an alley, usually referred to as Artist Alley? But aren't the alleys more than just artists? Aren't they writers, colorists, artists, pencilers, cartoonists, editors, letterers, illustrators, and more? Well, guess what? On Indie Advocates, we have Creators Alley. This is the future. What Creators Alley is, for those who are unaware or not even familiar with it, is our online version of what most refer to as a Artist Alley. The interesting thing about this is that, as far as we can tell, this is something that has never been done. We created it to currently have 260 tables. There are plenty of spaces still available. Once filled, we will actually add probably a new section to it, probably doubling the reach to 520, and so on and so on. As you guys can see, it's a way to have names into different areas. As this has begun to grow, people have begun to actually look here and actually look up people's names. We have a couple different ways that we can handle this for you guys. For example, we can actually have it link back to your Facebook group, which is what Indie Advocates does in this spot. For Victor Dandridge, it goes to his actual website. So will go directly to his personal website. Or for GC Cosplay, it can go to their Facebook page. For Fetish Babies, it goes right to the website. For Dave Brown, it goes to the actual file that we have on him on Indie Advocates. And it goes on and on. Written Sins goes to Written Sins Comics now. And this is how we set it up when we ask the creators involved. You guys can actually have your name on B3, and you can choose as long as the table's available, you can choose it. We'll put your name there, and it will link to something that you want. If you don't want something and we've covered you, we can absolutely just put the information that we've covered. If you haven't been covered by us and want to, or you just want to have your Facebook page or personal website linked, that's absolutely fine too. The amazing thing about this, as we say up on the top, is the fact that this is a 24/7 Comic-Con, which means that even if you're doing a show, this can represent you while you're at that show. It can represent you 2 in the morning. It can represent you while you're at home writing your next book, drawing the next great art, or even editing the next book that you're on. So Creators Alley is always open, and it's always here to advocate for you. Get your table today for free by reaching out to us at indieadvocates@yahoo.com or writtensins@yahoo.com and be seen in Creators Alley.
There you go, guys. So, I mean, that explained all of it. I don't even know that I have anything to add to it. So, Old Man of the Mountain, created and written by Tom Rapka. It's an apocalyptic comic book series. Angels, Demons, Lucifer, and the Surviving Few. I know that this one is getting towards the end of its Kickstarter, and it was part of the that July team. Let's look in that and good. So, all right, they have 5 days to go. There's still, they're about almost halfway there, not quite. Hopefully we can make that happen. Why don't we check out their video and see what we got going on, and maybe it'll entice you to check it out and help them. Or, that might not happen at all. I mean, there's options. Let's try reloading this page and seeing if that works. Alright, play this video. Or don't. I mean, you have options. Oh, for the love of God. I love my computer, guys. I don't know if you ever knew that. I really do. Okay. This is not gonna work. But, why don't we just scroll down a little bit, look into it. So for $1, just $1, you get a downloadable PDF of the bookmark. That's kind of cool. Just a digital bookmark. That's fun, actually. Uh, let's see. Let's talk about it. Old Man on the Mountain is a story of the apocalypse, living in the time that Lucifer begins to reign on Earth. Terror and control begin to be set in place. People are becoming vessels for spirits of the damned, and Lucifer's army has begun to grow. Ezekiel is the first of his bloodline to be given special abilities, powers, and a secret that could change the course of the war, his son, Orion. Come follow along with each issue as we continue to unveil the life of Ezekiel and his God-given duty to protect his son Orion at any cost, for he is the future of this war. Enjoy the first introductory issue of The Old Man on the Mountain, #1, a 36-page comic book, written and created by Tom Rapka, drawn by artist Arias Hernandez. There's Tom there, and there's the artist, Arias. And very cool stuff, guys. Very cool. I certainly like end of the world kind of stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. Alright. Let's go back to Indie Advocates. Dynamo, the wrestler from SFC. I believe that's on Kickstarter right now, or they're selling it. Let's check this out. So we're all well aware. Who's this done by? I do not know those names, but I do like that art. Retired from wrestling, Dynamo now wants to live a normal life, but something from his past is coming for him and his legacy. So no, I think they're just selling this book straight up. I don't think that this is a Kickstarter at all. So yeah, let's if that excites you, and I know that there's a lot of wrestling fans out there in the comic world. I'm not really one of them, but there's a lot out there. So if that's you, if you jump into that, check it out. Chicago's finest cosplay from C2E2. 10 to Midnight #1. Still trying to make it off of Kickstarter. When the sun blots out and the world is overrun by otherworldly creatures, the survivors only have two choices: fight or die. So check into that, my friends, and make that one happen too. I know that they could definitely use the help. So we've talked about this one before. Indie previews. You got monkeys fighting robots. I see monkeys fighting robots #1, and that makes me think there will be a monkeys fighting robots #2, and I just feel like the world could really use as many monkeys and robots beating the shit out of each other as possible. So I would look into that. Indie previews, Deaciders #1 of Wolf and Man. Maybe they're Metallica fans and they really like that. That could be it. The Crowding of Dragos #1, Fight or Surrender. Only a remnant of humanity remains, and their survival hinges on their choosing to fight or surrender to Dragon Shifters, the Dragon. I believe this is done by Brian Hawkins, I believe. Yeah, Hawkins and Perugini. Okay? So, yeah, they're on Kickstarter. They're making that happen. And I believe, if we look, they're actually doing quite well. Let's look into that and see how they are doing. Yeah, they're almost halfway there. They still have 19 days to go. Very much a possibility, like more than a possibility. I think that's one that you can just look at and go, yeah, that's probably going to happen. It's got a real good black and white feel to it. I don't know if they end up really getting into color, but it looks very cool. This is the preview going on. That's cool stuff. That is very cool stuff. If you're a fantasy fan like myself, this might just be the way for you to go. Sunday, August 26th at 10 a.m., The Nook goes live on Kickstarter. That's from Village Comics and Caleb Thusat. And I read his Ultra Life, which is a really good, a really solid book, series actually, that is done and all turned into a big, beautiful graphic novel now. And so now you have your chance to do that with Nook. Oh my goodness. Excuse me, guys. I am rude as hell today. We have the advocating Facebook group that you can check out. We have some fan art. Mark Ducrot shows his claws. Here's Raheel Mohsen, who actually is the artist for. He was brought up in Bangalore. I believe that's Maine. I could be wrong though. And he, Raheel Mohsen, is actually doing the project. We talked about that earlier with Rob Anderson, with our own Mr. Anderson, and that is Cat Dad and Supermom. Honestly, Cat Dad is fucking hilarious to me. Just his look and everything. I kind of want Rob to have to go to a show as Cat Dad one day. I think, honestly, guys, we need to come together and we need to do something like, if your project is supported like this much, or you get that much on Kickstarter, that's what you have to do. I would pay for that. I really would. Here's some New York City Comic Con happening. 7 Deadly Sins with Niobe, which I know that they're doing a relaunch of that. So that's definitely something cool to check out. Seed Seekers #1. We talked about Seed Seekers #2. So now you can preview one as well. Check out The Veteran's Wife and see how you can support our veterans today. Thank you to all veterans. We truly appreciate your service. We would like to give an extra special thank you to the veterans that don't want to be recognized. The silent, stoic veterans, for the horrors they have seen in war, is to them nothing to be thanked for. They don't put it out for the world to know, for they are truly struggling, for they now are battling their own war here at home. You are not alone. You are loved and appreciated. You will always be a hero, even if you refuse the title. I love that. Rumble Kings #1. A group of exiled soldiers travel through an alternate futuristic dystopia as they sell their violent skills to the highest bidders. Still on Kickstarter. It has funded. They're going into their first what the hell is those things? They're called stretch goals, I believe. They're going to their first stretch goal, and that is actually a print done by one of the former Spawn artists. I mean, dude, how can you go wrong? So you go in there, you throw like $5 or $10 at them to get yourself an actual physical copy of the book. So I'm a big fan of the physical, and of course, because you do the physical, they go, oh yeah, and also we're over our stretch goal, so you get a sweet kick-ass picture by this awesome fucking artist. How do you say no to that? I think that's the best part about stretch goals. That's the thing that excites me the most, is like something that was already great is even fucking better because people have supported it and loved it. We will talk to you later, my good friend. In the meantime, Chicago's finest cosplay from C2E2. Always just worth checking out the cosplay, taking a look at what's going on. I'm hoping when I start hitting my first cons, I can start showing off some great cosplay, because there really is some beautiful stuff out there. Whispers in Necropolis #3 from the creator of Lily the Demoness comes the third installment of the horror anthology Whispers in Necropolis. I just love the name of that, man. There's another Kickstarter talk. This is the Indie Comic Con Highway, the creator's roadmap. I love that. I think that's definitely something fun that we need to use and need to kind of help build and make happen and whatnot, to show off all the conventions that we're going to be at, so that us as creators can show that to you, the fans, who will then be able to go and enjoy. And I think they're going to need a whole separate map just for all the freaking conventions that Rob Anderson goes to, and all of his buddies in Florida. Florida and California seem to be the two most ridiculous states for conventions. And it's funny because when you look at the top 10 conventions, there was a post recently about like the top 10 conventions in all of North America and what they bring in. And Florida was not mentioned on any of them. And actually, I don't think Texas might have had one. I think Texas had one. No, Texas didn't have one. Texas had an honorable mention in like 13th place. But in the top 10, no Floridas. And yet Florida has a shitload of cons. Freaking Rob is always somewhere. So I think he needs like an America map and then a Florida map. Shawnee Shoe Hands, Ready, Set, Go. This is This is a book about a young autistic superhero. So I mean, even when you're supporting, you're also supporting diversity and a beautiful subject. So very important. Throwback Thursday. Today's art for the summer of creation, brought to you by Dimitri Walker. That's kind of badass. He's got a gun, like a laser gun, and then he also has like a African shield and spear thing going on, like kind of pretty kick ass. There's a sweet Domino cosplay. Sugar Glider issue number 2. See what happens to Lauren, aka Prism, in issue 2 of Sugar Glider, where we see events unfold from the antagonist's perspective. I like that. I always like the spin-off, the other side of things. Because they always say a villain is the hero of their own story. So, in that regard, we get to kind of see things from their point of view, and it's not all just there's there's usually something more to it. So I love that. That's kind of a cool idea. Broke down in 4 dead bodies. A simple drop off turns into a bloody ambush, leaving 2 gangsters to dispose of 4 dead bodies. Tempers flare, chaos ensues. It's by my boy Travis Gibb. Great book. I have read it. I actually have issue 2 that I need to get to and check out and read as well. He was a big help to me early on in the Welcome to the Void Kickstarter, and actually he was really helpful in kind of taking a look at issue 2 and going, hey, what can we do to kind of make it better? So Travis is a really super supportive, awesome dude. I would go check out his stuff, not just because he's supportive. I think that's like a nice reason to look at someone's stuff. Like, oh, you're a really good dude, and or a really good lady, really good person. I appreciate what you do for the community and for comics in general. I'm going to look at your stuff. And then you go look at it and you go, oh, shit, that's great. Then there's your reason right there. Like, you should support things because you love them. But it's easier to love them when the person is just a really good, helpful, nice person. So Travis makes that easy to want to support his stuff. We're going to go on to page 2. See what's going on. Got some more cosplay. Here and here. We got Batgirl going on. 7 Deadly Questions. Cookies They Promise to Go Easy on You. No. William Hatfield. So I guess that's an earlier one. Something to check out. Some Comic-Con highway exiting with Indy advocating in Florida. Mr. Anderson he was at Tampa Bay. So, I mean, I'm telling you the news about what happened. So, he was at Tampa Bay Comic-Con. What were they saying? TBCC is what they were calling it. And someone was like, oh, is that To Be Continued Con? I was like, yeah, I kind of like that. Now in the Indie Comics preview, Cyborg Mitsosis. I think that's supposed to be mitosis, but I'm not sure. The life of a gun for hire in a dystopic city in Greece. Oh, cool. There's some more Old Man of the Mountain, some more Metal Shark Bros, some sweet Harley Quinn, which you can never get enough of. War is exclusively on tap, as we've talked about War before. War is the story of a supervillain with the goal of world conquest in a world overflowing with superheroes that are treated like gods. Out comes War. So, very cool. You can get Fetish Babies. Look for it on Kickstarter. So this is Fetish Babies Volume 1. This is great. I'm really excited about this. This is going to be in October. And that's the entire Fetish Babies series, the first 3 books. Plus, I'm pretty sure, knowing Rob, there's going to be some extras in there you haven't seen yet. And all of that will be in one beautiful trade or graphic novel. So, definitely something to look forward to. And again, if you guys are vanilla like me, it's not a tits and ass book. In fact, the first book is the first issue. Actually, the first 2 issues very much are very little of that. All of it really is. I mean, someone once told me, the action in a comic book, you should have action about every 4 pages. So the thing about Fetish Babies is it's not an action book. It's the story of a young woman who's trying to come into her own. And so the action kind of more or less becomes the sexual appetite and then the sexuality of the book. And that even is kept to a minimum, and that ends up being about that same, like every 4 pages or so you get some of that, and it's not overdone. The story is very much the most important part of it, and if you don't know much about this sort of thing, this is your way to find out. The Other Side of Nowhere, Volume 1, Cornelius questions his origin, taking him and his crew into a journey of the unknown in this sci-fi space adventure. Very cool. Talked about Dirk Manning before and his stuff. We got some throwback fan art. Mark Ducrot channels his best Alex Ross. Got some more cosplay happening. What else do we have? Brody, the 7 Deadly Questions have sold organs before, so this is like Morgan's Organs, and that's for the creator who created it, Daniel Brody, and this is his 7 Deadly Questions. 7 reasons to back this Kickstarter, and that's just one, like you just basically grab it and you if you're a creator, you can, that's your explanation for why people should back your Kickstarter. Got more Dynamo. We've got Hydra Spider-Man. I've never even heard of Hydra Spider-Man. But that's kind of kick-ass. This week in Indie Comics. Was that the last? Oh, that might have been the last one. Okay. So, all right, cool. So we're getting into this now. Congrats to the team behind Saw for launching off of Kickstarter. Yes, my boys. David Jackson, Federico, and of course, Kyron Silva. I love these dudes so much. Especially Kyron and I get along very well. We're very good buddies. The two of our 2 books together got to do an absolutely beautiful print that will be coming to you guys. Any of you who supported both Saw and Welcome to the Void will be getting it. And I honestly, I even told Kyron, I was like, dude, whatever it costs, get me one of those. I want one too. I love the work that they did, and that will go up on my wall when I'm able to really start kind of showing off all of my stuff. So very excited that they got off of Kickstarter. Good for them. This is Mr. Anderson's review of how to self-publish comics, not just how to create them, the Master Edition. We've been over this before, Darling's Dementia, or how I experienced my mother in a way I never expected and decided to write a book about it. Chest number 1 is ready for pre-order and is out there right now. The Edge is happening. I believe that's Marvin Wynn. The Samaritan Abridged Edition is now on Amazon, and there's a short review for it by Rob Anderson. And right now I'm just kind of going through stretch goals for Rumble Kings. We talked about this. I'm going to go through. I just want to see if any more of the... No. If any more of the launching off of Kickstarters happen. Episode 4, Breaking Point from Missing Pieces is out on Webtoons. Starcross Comics, Confessions of a Publisher. Okay, let's look at this real quick. I'm kind of interested. I've got a confession to make. As happy as I am for the fully funded success of the American Revere Kickstarter campaign, I'm even more stoked for my creative partner, Ambet Gregorio. This guy answered my ad in digital webbing, and on my 4th artist since the release of American Revere #0, he turned in some jaw-dropping sketches of Sam that immediately knocked out any other considerations. That he had faith in me when all I showed him was personal slings and arrows, lots of jobs, and 2 moves is staggering loyalty. This was 2015. He stuck with me on the adventures of American Revere when he could have easily just cut and run and tried his luck with someone else. He stayed. So when he needed to take a year off to get his own personal situation settled, building a house, I did what others might not have done. I waited for him to clear his schedule, and after that year, we picked back up with work on what has become a fully funded reality. And Bet has done a lot of the work on this book on faith, on a promise I made that if he stayed on and finished it with me, that we would run a successful campaign. Truth be told, I was petrified of letting him down. With the help of you, Champion Nation, and Bet's faith paid off, and American Revere will be his first professional published work. He will be well compensated for his hard work. He helped bring my dreams to life, gets to feed his family, and do it through his art. That does not happen without him. Absolutely not. So thank you for the dedication, conviction, and faith. I'm so stoked for you, my brother. We did it. American Revere #1, coming soon with amazing adventures, awesome guest cameos, and the great world hope. So begins the champion age of comics. Very cool. That's beautiful stuff, and that's a really nice send off of Kickstarter. So good for them. A monstrous, deformed, and handicapped child becomes a legendary hero, the Legend of Calamar. That's really cool. That just sounds neat. This was the last call for Saw, and I guess. Okay, well, they're mentioning Welcome to the Void here, but why don't we just do our own little. Congrats. Here we go. Congrats to the team behind Monsters franchise for a monstrous Kickstarter campaign. That's right. And being a member of that team, thank you for the congratulations. I appreciate all of that. Thank you guys so much. Seriously, though, so glad to have that book out. I'll be so excited to be able to show it off and talk to people about it. I actually just got to go over it again and do some final edits and rereads of it. So very excited for all of you guys to finally get the second book. I think the second book, the first book was great. The second book is better. And you don't get to say that very often. But it's true. I believe the second book is better. Congrats to the team behind The Lost Kids, Seeking Samarkand, for finding their way off of Kickstarter. Okay, so it didn't happen. Not hurt. So, Welcome to the Void is off of Kickstarter. We have successfully funded. So, congratulations to the rest of my team, to Ben, Michael, to Kitty, to Sean, to my boy Laddie. I mean, seriously, everybody, thank you so much. And all of you out there who are a part of it, I really appreciate it. Yeah, man, just everything was, it all went so well. And so proud of it and so incredibly happy. And thank you guys for all your support and love. I really appreciate it. And we really felt it. And that's really what Indie Advocates is all about, the support and the love. So, gang, thank you so much for spending all this time with me. Thank you for coming on out and checking out all of our stuff. And as always, how's he going to finish it? That's right. Peace, love, and comics.